Listeners beware, you're in for a scare.
It came from the swamp. What did it want? I don't know. But it just keeps coming. This man thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Nightmare on Fear Street. I'm your host, Zach.
And I'm your other host, Meg.
And unfortunately, we don't have Ember this week. We'll get to that eventually when Ember comes back from attacking zombies. And
do you just think that we go off and kill zombies whenever we're not here talking to you?
Well, yeah, because I finally watched all the Santa Clarita Diet, so I'm pretty sure.
I'm sorry, but maybe I spend a lot of time shooting werewolves, actually. Maybe I'm a werewolf hunter. Don't assume things about my life.
Okay, well, I am actually a mad scientist that shoots myself up with his evil serum.
No, so you're a mad scientist, ghost, rock, vampire.
Yeah, that's... How do you think I became all this thing?
You transform into something else at least once a week. You have many forms.
This isn't even my final form yet. So this week, guys, we're talking about Man-Thing. So this is the first time R.L. Stine has ever written a comic book.
That's shocking to me.
The way it's written sounds like he's been writing comics for a very long time.
I know. He because I know that he is a huge fan of comics.
Yes, he is he's actually a big fan of obscure comics.
Yeah, he's a big Tales from the Crypt fan.
Yes.
Yeah, I know he's mentioned that was one of his inspirations for starting writing Goosebumps.
Yeah, with all the EC comics.
He just thought, oh, well, I love Tales from the Crypt. What if someone did that, but for kids?
Yeah, because you can see that in this, because it's very, EC comics.
Yeah. It is so, Golden Age horror comic-y. The way that people talk and the art style, and it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, it was so much fun reading this. So, Meg, how was your spooky week?
My spooky week? I went and saw Hidden Figures 2 nights ago. Finally. It's very good. I had my tutoring job again, because there's nothing scary in the world than teenagers.
Oh, yeah. No.
And I released my 2 possums that I had in care, the baby ones. I released them. They're now in the yard, and they're out living their own lives. And they have a little box that they sleep in, and they're happy babies.
Are you going to make a Free Willy type of movie? Where, they just jump out of the tree and you're behind them?
They basically did that when I released them. I had them on my shoulders, and I was just like, be free, and they jumped into the tree and ran away.
Yeah. And then, the never-ending story music starts playing as you walk off.
For some reason, I don't know what the never-ending story music sounds like off the top of my head, but when you said that, for some reason, my brain just put in the Jurassic Park music.
It's a never-ending story.
No, I don't know that. So my mind was just like.
Speaking of that, as we're recording this, I'm actually right after recording this, I'm going to go see Kong Skull Island, the most hype movie. I've waited so long to see this movie.
I'm seeing it on Monday.
Oh my god, I can't wait to talk to you about this because Meg, I can safely say you are also a gigantic monster fan as I am.
Oh yes.
So this will be fun just because King Kong is my jam, Godzilla's my jam, and all those kaiju movies, Jilly Jam. So guys, we're going to be talking about Man-Thing. Meg, are you a comic person?
No, I mean, not to sound like a total hipster, but I am not into superhero comics. I am more into the indie stuff. I mean, I read, Are
you a Tank Girl type of gal?
I don't actually have any Tank Girl books. I should get some because I really like Tank Girl, but I haven't actually read Tank Girl in a while.
Tank Girl's amazing.
I've got iZombie. I've got a lot of those kind of weird Archie comics, like Archie versus Predator. Yeah, and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I was making a joke with my friend because they just renewed Riverdale for season 2. Is that they're gonna have a crossover episodes so it's AVP v Archie v Freddy v Jason v Ash from Evil Dead.
Multiplayer crossover. I'm just imagining the Civil War trailer, but it's Archie on one side, the Predator on the other side, and then all the other characters are lined up behind them.
And then Jughead's in the way back. I'm helping.
Yes. Anyway, I mean, I like Hellboy. He's kind of the only superhero that I follow.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I like weird superheroes.
I like the kind of weirdo comics. I'm not into see the thing about it's not just superhero comics, they're good to movies and it's too mainstream. It's not nerdy enough. But it's really just because the Avengers, Captain America, Spider-Man, Superman, X-Men, Wonder Woman, Batman, all of those comics go back to like the 50s. There is so much like lore, and they've been retconned and re-retconned like 50 bazillion times. It's just intimidating to me. Like, I don't know where to start with any of them, so I just don't try at all. Hellboy started in the 90s. It's very manageable. There is one plot line, one artist that does all of them.
Yeah, no, for me, I've always liked the weird monstrous superheroes, like the Hulk, Swamp Thing. I guess Man-Thing. Well, my favorite superhero is the Toxic Avenger, so, you know. Actually, I'm actually wearing my Toxic Avenger t-shirt.
Has there ever been a comic of the Toxic Avenger?
There's actually a Marvel comic, or there was. I have a couple issues.
I also really like The Mask. They've sort of ended. They haven't made any Mask comics for decades, but the original run of it was, like, so good.
Yeah, so let's get into, are you ready for Man-Thing number one?
Yeah, so like I had never heard of Man-Thing until you told me about this comic.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really heard of Man-Thing just because he's kind of like the clone for Swamp Thing.
Yeah, everybody probably just gets him confused with Swamp Thing.
Ironically, there's a Swamp Thing movie. Actually, there's two Swamp Thing movies. They were both directed by Wes Craven. And there's also a Man-Thing movie.
Really?
Yeah, that movie was like way back before, like, I think it was one of the last movies they made before Iron Man. So this is like
So it was in the dork age of Marvel films.
Yeah, the dork age. It was right after they made the Punisher movie.
And that terrible Daredevil movie.
Oh, we mean with Batfleck?
Yeah. And actually, no, I think Elektra was worse than the Daredevil movie.
No, have you ever seen the Nick Fury movie they made with David Hasselhoff?
You mean that really old one?
Yeah, the really old one.
From like 1970 something?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's so bad, it's good.
I've also never seen the Red Brown Captain America movie.
Oh, they're amazing. Oh my god, those movies are so stupidly amazing. Like, they have the joke. Okay, there's a running joke in the movie where Captain America steals a car by jumping out of his car and faking to be sick. So the person, he comes out of the car, are you okay? And he just steals it.
Amazing.
And so when I was going to go see Civil War with my friends, he did that. And I was like, get back in the car. I actually started to drive off.
Man-Thing.
So Man-Thing, yes. So this is issue number 1. It came out actually this week. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, it actually came out March 8th, 2017. And the cover, I like the cover.
It's really cool cover.
I like the background.
I like Man-Thing. I like the way he looks. He's really like... He's kind of cooler looking than Swamp Thing.
I mean, I kind of like that he's got like a pitchfork, like he's got like his face.
Yeah, he's got that like sort of I don't know, is it like an insect face almost?
It kind of is. He's got like the red bug eyes, and he just has like green grass growing out of him. But I really like the background because it's obviously like Los Angeles, Hollywood that's on fire in the back. There's like the Hollywood Hills. It says,
Is it on fire? I didn't think it was on fire. I thought that they had just colored the grass red.
Oh, like
as
dying
a stylistic
grass?
choice.
Kind of like,
yeah, but now that I'm looking at it, it is definitely on fire, and my eyes are not good.
Then it goes to Those Who Know Fear.
Is that the name of the, like,
Maybe
story?
This is like the issue of the run. This comic came out of the blue just because this would have escaped my radar if it wasn't for R.L. Stine writing this. So, R.L. Stine wrote this. Jermaine, I'm going to be so butchering names right now.
German Peralta.
Rochelle Rosenberg as the color artist. And I think it's really cool that, I think, like, German does a really good job. It's very, like, paintbrushy, this comic.
It is a very nice looking comic.
Yeah, I think I'm not really one to judge art. You're the art major.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can just talk about the art. I can talk about the art until...
Swamp cows come home.
Jack says, shut up, Meg. I really like the way that it's sort of like, I don't know if this was done digitally or if it was done by hand, like the coloring.
I think it was done digitally.
It looks very like watercolory. I love when comics put the detail in because most comics are just like the black lines and then flat color with maybe a little bit of shading. But this artist has done, like, every panel is really lovely and colorful, and I like the way that the backgrounds are like really, really brushy and scribbly. It draws your attention to the characters and the action because there's not a lot to distracting the background, and the lines of the background kind of follow the lines of whatever action's happening.
Yeah, it's at a very like forced perspective.
Yeah. It's very, very well drawn, and I like when he's fighting the centipede guy at the beginning.
Oh, we'll get into the story really cool. We'll get into that story. So. Yeah. Like all good Goosebumps books or R.L. Stine, he has to have a nice pun to it. So you open it up, And the tagline for this is, once a mild-mannered scientist, Ted Sallis meddled with forces he did not understand, thus becoming the abomination known as Man-Thing. Whoever knows fear burns at the touch.
Wow.
It's so Tales of the Crypt.
It is. It's really like Golden Age. It's got that sort of very dramatic language that they used to use on like the pre-code comics, where they would be like, you know, just like whoever knows fear will burn at the touch. That's so dramatic.
It's so nerdy. I love it.
I love this comic.
So the comic opens up with Man-Thing fighting like a centipede monster, and they're going at it. They're like battling. It's like Clash of the Titans, and they're, you know, making their witty comebacks, such as, you know, why Man-Thing smells. Like some of them are amazing. Like where does the swamp and you begin?
Very R.L. Stine. These lines are like super duper R.L. Stine.
Think you're attractive just because you attract flies? Here's a newsflash. They have a new thing called deodorant.
Yeah, these are like the kind of burns that a 12-year-old would give.
Poopy head, idiot. And then the weird thing though about this is like they open it up and like Man-Thing's talking to himself in the third person, and it's adorable.
He's like narrating his life.
He's narrating his life, yeah. So they get into this big old battle.
You of all people would have probably heard of this movie, but there's a really terrible low-budget 80s movie called Eat and Run.
Oh, I've seen that movie.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of how the main character in Eat and Run like narrates his life out loud. No, I'm just thinking about the bit in Eat and Run where he's like, where the alien turns around and he pulls up his gun and he tries to shoot it, but there's no bullets in it, and the alien just looks at him, and the guy's like, bang, bang, said the gun.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden, after this huge monster fight, all of a sudden, cut. Okay, lunch break, everybody. This is where
it kind of lost me a little bit.
Oh, that it turns out that...
This is where it threw me a little.
Man-Thing is actually a movie shoot?
Yeah, like, so if Man-Thing... Okay, Man-Thing is not a guy in a costume. Man-Thing is the real Man-Thing.
Yeah.
In a movie, playing himself. Is the centipede real?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. No, the centipede isn't real if you look at it. It's actually like guys in a costume. It's like 4 guys in the costume.
Wow.
And it's a really nice looking costume then. It's like animatronic and everything. I guess I give props to like the Hollywood here, just because they don't use, you know, CGI for Man-Thing or the centipede monster.
I get you. But so what I can gather is that Man-Thing was this brilliant scientist who was inventing a super soldier potion for the army or something.
Yeah, he invents it and he's like, oh no, it's too strong. I have to burn all my notes and this is the only sample. Oh, Ellis, my true love. You know, you'll help me destroy this.
And then she turns out to be a spy for like some other people who want it.
Yeah, some other people that want it. I guess for the evil army.
Maybe some other country's army.
Or Hydra.
It's
always Hydra.
Oh yeah, I forgot this was Marvel.
Yeah, so hail Hydra.
Everything is Hydra's fault. Everything.
So, you know, he gets into like his, you know, his Mustang and drives off into the swamp.
And then he shoots himself in the arm with the...
Which, it has one of the best lines, just because he's self-aware what he does to himself.
I love that he, like, explains what's happening. It's like, R.L. Stine, comics are a visual medium. We can see what's happening here.
No, okay, so what he says is one of my favorite lines to any scientist, because R.L. Stine's like, yeah, I know, this is a trope. He says, no time to think. He injects the serum into his arm. It's so stupid.
That is such a trope.
Like, I
will be my own guinea pig.
Yeah, it's like if you want something done, you do it yourself. Yeah.
And then he falls into the swamp and he becomes Man-Thing.
Yes, which is like, it's a really horrific scene. Like his skin's falling off and his ribcage gets exposed.
Made slightly less impactful by the fact that the picture is like covered up by word bubbles of him explaining what's going on.
Yes, and he's like bloating.
I am a big fan of, I'm a big believer in show don't tell. I think maybe if we had just had a full picture of his skin coming off, we would have been able to figure it out.
Yes, that would have been cool. But no, I like how like he starts like bloating and like his eyes start turning red.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really effectively done of him becoming a monster, and he explains like, oh, I lost my consciousness and then I started murdering people.
Yeah, okay, so then he loses his mind. He becomes like a feral Man-Thing. And then somehow he starts to gain his consciousness back. And in order to be human again, he goes to Hollywood and becomes a movie star.
I think what happened probably is they'll probably explain it in the other comics because this is an 8-issue run.
That really threw me. And then he mentions, he's like, why can't I have the private jet? And the guy's like, oh, we gave that to Ant-Man. So like all of the Marvel characters star in movies where they play themselves?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, superhero doesn't pay anything, unfortunately.
Yeah, but they've all got day jobs. They're all like scientists and journalists and stuff.
Yeah. That's what they keep telling themselves as they like look at their bank accounts going. So
this has just raised a question with me, like,
what's the question?
Ant-Man. So do people in the Marvel comics, do the heroes have secret identities? Because in the movies, they don't really.
It depends because they retcon it sometimes.
I know Spider-Man's always got a secret identity, but I don't know about,
okay, it depends. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't, because in Civil War, he revealed his secret identity. That's the whole point of Civil War, is like, should superheroes have secret identities or not?
You mean the comic, because the movie was not about that.
Well, yeah, that's what the comic is.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm pretty sure, like, Thor, Thor
doesn't need one, he's Thor.
Well, originally he did. He was Donald Matheson. He was like this crippled like doctor, but he was Thor all along. So they changed things up.
I thought he just picked up the hammer and it made him be Thor. Like, it gave him the powers of Thor.
Odin was like, I don't like you, Thor, so I want to turn you into like this crippled doctor, and you're going to lose all your memories, but you are Thor.
Oh, okay.
So that was something that happened later on.
This is why I don't read superhero comics. There's too many like retcons, and it's confusing.
It's kind of like with like Bruce Banner and like the Hulk. Like the Hulk is his alter ego, but sometimes he's always just the Hulk, and you can't really change that. Same as like She-Hulk. Like there's a really good comic where it's just She-Hulk and
I thought She-Hulk was always She-Hulk.
Yeah, she's always She-Hulk. So they have a comic that I love where it's just her doing lawyery things, but as She-Hulk.
All right, okay, this is making my brain hurt now. Let's talk about Man-Thing.
I love comics, so for me...
I don't. So he's walking around the streets of Hollywood, and then another Man-Thing walks up to him, and they start fighting?
Yeah, but it turns out that it's actually him, his older version of Man-Thing, and they're fighting each other.
I didn't understand that. Like, I know they're probably going to explain it in other issues, but, like, why is there another Man-Thing?
I mean, that's a comic thing. That's always a comic thing.
Is he hallucinating?
He could be. I don't know. Or maybe it's like the Man-Thing stunt double.
Then why would it be fighting him? Maybe it's like...
Because remember, okay, so like the reason why like they're canceling the Man-Thing movie, because in this comic they're canceling the Man-Thing movie because the test audiences don't like Man-Thing.
Man-Thing scares the children.
Because he scares the children, yeah, because, the Hulk doesn't scare children. Or, the Red Skull doesn't scare...
I reckon the Hulk's not as freaky looking as Man-Thing, though. Like, the Hulk's just a big guy.
Oh, no, because they make the point about that where the Hulk is compared to, like, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, he says, I make the Hulk look like Brad Pitt.
That's really funny.
Yeah. If he wanted to be really meta, he could have said, I make the Hulk look like insert any actor who's played the Hulk.
Oh, I look like Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Or Edward Norton.
Makes the Hulk look like Mark Ruffalo. Makes the Hulk look like Eric Bana.
Oh, my God.
That would have been super meta.
Or Lou Ferrigno.
But I feel like R.L. Stine, as we've discovered from his Goosebumps books, R.L. Stine has a very, like, small pool of reference of, like, pop culture references. Because he seems to refer to, like, the same 5 actors all the time. Like, he doesn't know any of the other names of anybody.
See, that would be funny, though. It's just like, let's see. He looks through his list. I could use Madonna. I could use Brad Pitt. Can't really use Michael Jackson anymore. So, Justin Bieber, question mark?
Justin? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
He's just typing on his typewriter. Yeah, okay.
The one thing that I missed with this, I was kind of looking forward to, is, and this is probably just a side effect of it being a comic and it not having a lot of narration, because it is a comic. None of that full stop randomly in the middle of a sentence stuff that R.L. Stine always does. I was looking for it, and I didn't find it.
They're also... Actually, wait. Oh, no, there was an evil twin in this.
Oh, my God.
The swamp
and a scientist.
And a scientist. I don't see any redheads. Wait, let me check really quickly.
No redheads yet.
Nope, no redheads in this.
And it was too short to have any fake out cliffhanger.
Yeah, there was.
Cliffhanger endings.
There was the fake out cliffhanger of the evil Swamp Thing.
Yeah, but we haven't, like... It's too early to judge whether that was a fake out cliffhanger. Like, see, if it was a fake out cliffhanger... Then next issue, it would just be like, I was having a weird dream just now where I was fighting myself. That's the kind of thing that R.L. Stine always does.
Yeah.
But if it's like, next issue, the second Swamp Thing is real.
I just realized no one's wearing leggings in this either.
Oh yeah, no one's wearing leggings as pants.
Darn
and
it.
nobody has yet used the phrase chills and thrills, ironically.
Chills and
That's another
thrills?
one that always happens. People are in Goosebumps, there will be a thing where one character will describe something really boring, and then another character will roll their eyes and goes, chills and thrills, huh? So, ironically, saying chills and thrills is another Goosebumps trope.
Yeah, there's a lot of like non-goosebumpy tropes about this. But the one thing I'm surprised about is that they didn't play it up that it's R.L. Stine writing this comic. Because I went to the comic book store and they were just like, I really like to get Man-Thing. And it's like, oh, okay. Did you know R.L. Stine writing this? And it's like, his name's very small in this. But, you know, to us, it's just like, oh my God, it's R.L. Stine.
I know. Yeah, if you're the kind of like overgrown child who still reads R.L. Stine as an adult, i.e. both of us.
So, you know, it gets to the point of where I like that they play it down. Though I'm surprised that there isn't a variant cover where it's gonna be like a Goosebumps type of cover.
Oh my God! If Tim Jacobus did one of the variant covers, I would lose my mind.
I think probably that's gonna happen for this, like maybe another issue. Or maybe like for like when they do like the trade paperback.
Yeah, maybe when they like get them all together, maybe then Tim Jacobus will do the cover.
They're probably like, Tim, come on. I don't wanna. Come on.
I'm just imagining Tim Jacobus is like in his office and it's dark and he's smoking a cigarette and he's like, those days are behind me.
Tim, I need you back. I haven't heard that name in many years.
Yeah, no one's called me that name in years.
'Cause
my new name is Jim Jacobus.
Yep. And he's kind of like, I don't know what he looks like. I just imagine like he's clean shaven, but then like he comes out of the shadow and he has like a goatee. He's like evil Spock.
Yeah, he's got like a mustache on. Who is this Jim Jacobus?
Yeah, so basically it's like he's like old Obi-Wan.
Yes.
And then we get to the more interesting thing about this comic, and that is there's a Tales of the Crypt homage short they do at the end of this comic.
Yeah, I think it's like R.L. Stine's got some new thing that he's doing that is Tales from the Crypt-esque.
Yeah, so it's called Tales from R.L. Stine's Chamber of Chills.
Thrills and Chills.
Thrills and Chills. So the first comic, it's called...
The comic is called Put a Ring on It.
Put a Ring on It.
Which is great.
It's amazing. And it's very easy comic where it's about this guy. He's a guy that's a pianist. And he's just like, I love this woman, but I love her for her ring because it's got like magical powers and stuff.
Yeah, it's a magic ring that basically like brings you success and fortune if you wear it. But the ring has to choose you.
So this guy devises this plan to like steal this ring. By doing it is, you know, wooing this woman on his, you know, super expensive yacht because he's a super, you know.
No, it's her yacht, isn't it?
It's her yacht.
Because she's the one that, she is like, because she says she was homeless and then somebody put the ring in her collection cup and she put it on and it made her like, and then straight after that she got a job.
He starts wooing her and then he just like whacks her out and throws her off the...
Yeah, he pushes her off the yacht.
And he puts the ring on. He's like, oh my God, I'm like the world's greatest pianist. And he goes to sleep and wakes up and he's got no fingers.
It's the classic Tales from the Crypt plot structure of this person thought they could get away with murder, but then they didn't. But there are many, many, many Tales from the Crypt plots that are essentially just, look at this guy, he thought he could get away with murder, but he didn't.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great twists like this one. I can't wait to see what the other ones are. Hopefully they have one about a lake that eats people.
Yeah, all of this, like, R.L. Stine is really good at writing in that really, like, 40s pre-code EC comic style.
Sure is. Yippity-doo-dah. He gets really giggly.
He's very good at it. Like, you can tell that he grew up inhaling these comics into his mind.
It also probably helped that he spent all of his life, you know, writing children's material. So like writing comics is probably like something that's either really hard or really easy for him.
He just, I can tell how much he loves old comics from reading this because it, like, the whole thing is just like a love letter to that old style of writing. Yeah,
no, most definitely. Hopefully that he gets to write more Marvel comics. Like, I love that he made like his own original series.
Yes.
Just because you take a concept like Man-Thing, which not that many people know about. And so far, I think it's actually a good book. it's keeping.
I'll definitely buy the paperback when it comes out.
The last time I thought of like, oh man, hopefully I'm going to enjoy this, but I wasn't sure, was the Haunted Mansion comic they made, and that comic was amazing.
There was a Haunted Mansion comic?
Yeah, there's a Haunted Mansion comic.
As in the Ghost Train at Disneyland? The Haunted Mansion?
Yeah, like that Haunted Mansion, because Marvel is owned by Disney.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because there's a Enchanted Tiki Room comic. There's Journey into Imagination comic.
How would you make a comic of the Enchanted Tiki Room? You just go in and there's a bunch of tikis singing and dancing.
I haven't read it, but I hear good things about it. If you like the Enchanted Tiki Room, it's really good.
At least the Haunted Mansion.
Well, each one's all different. They also even made one called The Keepers of the Weird, which was the original concept for the Haunted Mansion that they made into a comic.
Okay.
So there's weird things that, Marvel does that I like. Man-Thing so far is good, and hopefully they drop like Swamp Thing jokes just because of the similarities.
Hopefully, see, I tend to not read comics week to week. I tend to buy the paperback editions when they come out. Because especially with this, it's like you read the one and it's so short and I don't understand what's going on. I need there to be another one.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like seems like something that would be a really good trade paperback, but yeah. I don't mind reading it month to month because this is a month to month comic.
Okay. See, once again, not a comic book fan. I don't know these things. I don't even know where there's a comic book store near me anymore. I think the one that was closest to me closed down.
Yeah, because that seems like an interesting thing for us.
I always hated that comic book store anyway, because I went in there when I was like 15, and I went in there to buy a Deadpool comic, and the lady at the desk didn't believe that I was 15, so she wouldn't let me buy it.
Okay, so it's kind of an interesting concept, just because for us in America, there's like a comic book store every 5 feet from us. Especially with like your heavy censorship and stuff, I would imagine it'd be a lot harder to sell comic books.
Oh, there's a lot of big comic books in the city. Like big comic book stores in the city. See, usually comic books, a few of the ongoing comic books are still sold in newsagents.
Oh, so wait, there's like newsstands you can buy them from?
It's not a newsstand. It's a big store where you buy office supplies, newspapers, magazines, gift wrap, and little knickknacks. Those are extremely common, and usually they will sell like... Usually it's like The Phantom, Simpsons comics, Archie, and Batman, and occasionally there'll be some Marvel ones. Yeah, I guess they just sell the ones that they think are the most popular, and I guess The Phantom is ridiculously popular in Australia, and I have no idea why.
That's the one with the big purple guy, right?
He's a purple guy.
Yeah, he's the purple guy that lives in the jungle.
This comic that is like older than time itself about this purple guy that lives in the jungle and fights crime or something. Yeah, because
purple is what I think of camouflage in the jungle.
Purple is the superhero color.
Yeah.
Everything is purple. The Hulk's pants are purple. The Phantom's purple. Batgirl's purple.
Purple Man from Jessica Jones, purple.
He's a bad guy.
Yep.
Well, bad guys are all purple as well. All bad guys are purple.
Well, except for all the good guys are all green. It's Man-Thing, Hulk.
Man-Thing, Hulk,
Green Goblin.
Lantern, Green Arrow, Green Hornet. Green Goblin's a bad guy.
Overall, what did you think of this comic, just from this one issue?
Like the art, like the general writing style. Not too sure what's going on.
What was your favorite joke? Just because there's so many great zingers in this.
My memory's terrible. I read this like 10 minutes ago, and I already forgotten everything. I liked when the guy was like, hey, don't drip swamp juice on my carpet. It's expensive.
Yeah, no, I like my favorite part is like, hey, Man-Thing, can I call you Manny? It's actually...
My name is Ted.
It's Ted. I just imagine
makes me
that.
think of the truck driver from A Series of Unfortunate Events, who kind of laughs like, tell me, truck driver, I already told you, my name is Evander. Tell me, truck driver.
But yeah, and overall, I think everyone should at least give this a read even the trade paperback. It's worth it so far. If you like old-timey, like... comic books for like EC, like Tales of the Crypt, like Tales to Astonish, or like those old-timey horror
just
comics.
Anything that was pre-code and spooky, scary skeletons.
Yeah, this is totally worth it. This is, like, I really hope that they gave, like, R.L. Stine, like, his own, like, Tales from the Crypt, like, series. Where he is...
I hope that R.L. Stine's Tales of Terror, or whatever it was called, I hope that there's one every issue of Man-Thing.
I believe that's what they're gonna do. I wonder what just all the crazy stories they're gonna do. Because this one was kind of crazy.
Probably a lot more that are like, oh, he's gonna kill someone, but he didn't get away with it. Because that's what Tales from the Crypt always does. And if he's trying to be Tales from the Crypt. I hope there's one that, like, that blatantly rips off a plot from Goosebumps.
Yeah, Axe Murder Plant Dad.
I don't know why, but that would amuse me a lot.
I think that would be funny if like Swamp Thing's like waiting like for the rehearsal to finish, and he's reading like Stay Out of the Basement.
Why are you reading that book for kids? Man, thanks. Shut up.
Shut up. It's good. My favorite part's of Plant Dad.
It's an easy read. Just leave me alone.
You know how hard it is to read with these big old bug eyes?
Yeah, he has no pupils. How does he see?
I don't know. How does he feel? God. These are like the existential questions.
I have no eye. I have no pupils, but I must see.
I have no pupils, but I can still love. Yep, and he straight up still murders people too. So, good old man thing.
Of course he does.
You know, thank you guys for listening to this really interesting episode, because neither me or Meg have ever reviewed a comic before.
Yeah, so. I have never even... I was going to say I have never even read a comic, but I have. I've definitely read a comic, at least.
It was good. Next week we should hopefully be reading Final Grade. This week has been really weird scheduling-wise.
Yeah, this week has been cuckoo bananas.
But we should also have a bonus episode this week with Christian from the Walt Sent Me podcast on a Choose Your Own Adventure. So we'll be doing Welcome to the Wicked Wax Museum. So that should also be dropping this week.
Cool.
Where can they reach you, Meg?
I'm on Twitter at MegTuten. That's at MEGTUTEN. And I'm on Tumblr at sodasodabanana.tumblr.com. Where can they reach you, Zach?
They can reach me at Suda41, or you can reach our show at Night Fear Street on Twitter. You can even email the show at nightmareatfearstreet@gmail.com. And if you want to reach us at our website, you can reach us at ghoulishfancies@gmail.com, or if you guys want to send us a nice review on iTunes, we'd really appreciate that. Thank you guys for listening to this super spooky episode. Now, if you need me, I have a date with King Kong and John Goodman.
Sounds like a fun time for you.
It is. Bye.
Bye.